Welcome to my garage, where we go in depth and look into the vehicle that we're featuring in today's video, which right here we have the latest mid-refresh F-150, and this one happens to be the King Ranch. And we're gonna go ahead and talk about how it's like daily driving this, average MPG, power, as well as some interesting hidden features and tips and tricks I've discovered after daily driving this nice luxury pickup truck that could do it all, basically. So let's begin. So like always, first thing I like to always do when it comes to car shopping is know how it's like doing self-maintenance. I'll talk more about the interior and all the good stuff in a little bit. But let's go ahead and pop the hood, because what we have here is indeed the power boost. In other words, it's the hybrid version 3.5 liter twin turbo V6. Now, unfortunately, one engine option was indeed removed this year. That is the naturally aspirated V6. So we are now left with the 2.7 liter EcoBoost V6, and then the 5.0 V8, and then you also have the 3.5 liter EcoBoost V6, and then we have the Power Boost, which we have right here. And then of course, if you want the V8 supercharger, that option's still available, but only for the Raptor R, which features a 5.2 liter supercharged V8. But regardless of which trim piece you get, they all have the 10-speed automatic transmission that has been pretty much improved to the point where it's very useful and comfortable to drive with compared to the very first generation with the 10-speed automatic. Now, I like the fact that the 12-volt battery is right there and exposed, easy to swap out for you. And then right above it, you could kind of see the hybrid components. And then in the center part, you can see the plastic manifold exposed, no engine cover, which is quite nice, easy to access certain things. You do have your airbox filter, easy to access right here to quickly swap it. It looks like it's using paper filter. So I like that. You don't need additional tools to have access to this. But let me jump on the wheel to see better. The spark plug coils are right there and exposed, which helps a lot when it comes to doing quick self-maintenance. Dipstick. I love this. You don't have to rely on dumb sensors that you have to use the main display to know your oil level. Radiator fluid, it's all accessible right here. Self-maintenance wise, it's very F-150, very truck. You could easily do this in your household, so long as you have the space to fit this big F-150. And your throttle body is right there. Not sure if you can see that. Now here's the oil right behind the airbox. So it does take 5W30, which is easy to find in most retail stores, which is awesome, like Walmart and such. Then like every F-150, I'm assuming that your oil filter is located on the bottom. Yep, I see it right there, easy to get access. And then there's the drain that guides it, so it drains right here in a bucket when you're doing your oil changes. The bottom is partially exposed. There's no skid plates, but I'm sure you could find aftermarket parts if you need it. But there's a mini skid plate right there, which is quite nice. Definitely is made out of steel. It's not bad. My grandpa could easily work on this just fine. It's not covered with a lot of electronics. I love that. So we do have updated headlights, and for the 2024, from my understanding, there's three if we talk about the Raptor, but there's two headlight styles. There's ones that have the ambient light right here, a little amber bar. But then these higher trim models, let me close the hood first real quick, have these white DRLs that are really cool, and they do swivel, and they also do a cool dance animation when they boot up, and they tie together really well with the fog lamps down here. These headlights are only available for the premium higher tier F-150 lineups, like the King Ranch as well as the Platinum, I'm assuming. But the Raptor is the only one that, instead of white, these are amber, which is quite nice. But with the Power Boost, you do have an impressive 430 horsepower, as well as 575 pound-feet of torque. And 0-60 is pretty quick. It's just a shy under 6 seconds. I've been seeing 5.3. So this has no issues getting on the freeway. But still, continuing on the front, you do have the updated grille, but most importantly, the new updated Ford emblem as well. It's like white instead of chrome like it used to be. And this truck does have 360 cameras. Their tow hooks are properly placed and very sturdy. It does have active aero, so these little flaps will close depending on the temperature of the engine, as well as the efficiency for range. And this truck on average can easily achieve like 21 miles per gallon. A full tank of gas could easily get you from 600 to 700 miles depending on your driving habits. But aside here, You do have these like King Ranch emblem rims with grabber tires. These are the HTS Go's, which these rims are actually 22s. And it looks to be about 33-inch wheels. 6 lug nut. And then when it comes to ground clearance, well, if you include the flap, you have about 11.5 inches of ground clearance. But excluding the flap, you have about 16.5 of ground clearance. And by flap, I'm talking about this little plastic bit that you could remove. It's just there for fuel efficiency. So since we do have the hybrid V6, it does say power boost right here. That's one way to indicate and separate the two apart. And this truck is actually equipped with side steps, which automatically pop out and fold in automatically. You have smart door handles for the driver and passenger side. And then you could tap here to lock. Just unfortunately for the back 2 doors, they're not smart door handles, just something to highlight. And then underneath here, you do have adaptive suspension for your shocks back here. That's why those little wires are connected to. But now moving along and going into the back, we see the new emblem one more time, and we have the King Ranch emblem down here instead of the whole plaque in the back tailgate. And then we do have a full-size spare tire underneath the bed. Quite awesome that Ford still continues to put a spare, unlike other manufacturers now. And your pin connectors for your trailer are all accessible right here. Now we do have a 2-inch hitch, and according to Ford, this truck does have a towing capacity for the hybrid V6 of 1,200 and 700 pounds. So 12,700 pounds basically, which is quite impressive for a light duty truck. So Ford does have a Pro Access tailgate option. Ours is equipped with the standard, unfortunately, but we do have the trailer assist. But the Pro Access one is the one that has like these door designs, which is supposed to give you easier access, especially if you're using your hitch to like tow a trailer, so your tailgate doesn't hit anything. But since we do have the assist trailer, at least by a simple button press, it will automatically open. You can either press that button one more time or just lightly do that and it will automatically self-close. You also have the ability to open it or close it with the remote of the key fob as well, or the app, depending on your preference. And this truck does have clamps right here to attach certain things when you're working on the job, as well as the little foot stepper that I'm sure we're all fairly familiar by now. You can opt for that. And of course on the tailgate you have your measurement, a little cup holder inlet right here, as well as a little cubby for your pens or pencils. And while working on the job and you're dehydrated, bottle opener, that's quite nice. So for the F-150 Power Boost, it does have Pro Power onboard features, which you'll find all the outlets right here. With, as you see, our 120 outlets, and over here we do have a 240 outlet. And with a full tank of gas, this can operate up to 32 hours, as the engine will basically be the generator. And it's said to be able to deliver up to 72 kilowatts, which this one has that option equipped. Another option this truck has is the smart hitch, which means we have a built-in scale on the bed, which I'll show you more in a little bit on how it's able to measure all that in real time for you. And on the right side, we do have a hidden compartment where you could store some tools and such. And it does look to be somewhat weather sealed too. Your tie down hooks all the way around. These ones can be locked or unlocked, and a little manual button to quickly turn on the lights in your bed. But then if you ever need to, these little hooks for the tailgate can be removed, as all you need to do is just lightly lift up the tailgate and then just use like a flathead or something like that and just pop these out like so. And the benefit of this is that you could just do this and it will hold the tailgate to this level, allowing you to actually put like plywood or something like that to extend the bed a bit more, so your stuff in the bed doesn't just slide out if you absolutely have to. Of course you have to do it on both sides, but just demonstrating that this is how that powerful tool can be utilized. So a complaint that I always had with my previous F-150, I also own a few of these trucks, is back then, no matter the trim, the gas cap was never locked. But now Ford actually integrated a built-in lock for these things. Not sure exactly when they started doing this. It could have been available on the previous generation, I just didn't pay attention. But my 2017 F-150 never had that lock gas cap, and that was one of my biggest fears, just getting ciphered. I like the fact you can now lock it. Now this truck does hold a capacity up to 36 gallons, which is quite a lot. I like it for a truck. That's very much appreciated and acceptable. And this being a Ford, it could take both premium and regular. Ford recommends premium if you want the most horsepower, but if you use regular, you lose like 10 or 15 horsepower, which isn't really much of a deal breaker. And it's also easy fuel, which means it doesn't have a cap. But now it's no longer aluminum, it's actually plastic. We hope that's durable in the long run, but I don't see any issues why it wouldn't. Now the key fob for this King Ranch is the same key fob that we've been seeing for like a long time. Here's the old generation F-150 key fob. Again, it's 100% identical to my old one. Same button layout and everything else. But this truck does feature the walk-away ability to automatically lock as you walk away or unlock when you approach your truck. But in terms of key functionality, remote start, lock and unlock, your tailgate. But if we lock the vehicle and then tap one more time and then hold the unlock button, let's see if it has the global roll down window. So it does, but only for the driver and passenger side. Just however, to lock it and re-roll your windows, you still have to go inside the truck to manually re-roll them up, unfortunately. And then, just like every Ford vehicle nowadays, it does have the number keypad right here, which is quite awesome. And there's two hidden features that not a lot of people know about. If you press and hold 7 and 9 at the same time, this will override the vehicle, so you can leave your keys inside the car and manually lock the car like so. Ideal in situation if you're surfing at a beach or something like that, you don't want to lose your keys, you can just leave them in the car and just approach your vehicle and then just enter your PIN to get access again, or just unlock it with the mobile app. Another thing you could do is when you enter your code, hold down the 3 and 4 and it will automatically open up your tailgate. So again, these two buttons will override the vehicle to force close it and lock it even if your key fob are inside. And then if you enter your code and hold down the 3 and 4, it will open up your tailgate only. So that's a cool little hidden feature a lot of people don't know about. Another thing about this truck is this does have the lights on your side view mirror, because these lights are meant to be swiveled. So if you're working on a work site, a job site, and you're trying to position like the spotlight to be somewhere else, both the driver and passenger mirrors can easily be moved like this and positioned. It's actually meant for this. And don't worry about breaking anything. Again, it's designed to be able to do this when you're working, and then it just locks in place for your driving position. But now let's hop in the back and show you around. So each door compartment, even that side, also has these massive doors, and it also has a room for like a large size water bottle. More storage right here, additional storage right here. So a lot of cup holder space. And then right below here, you have more storage. And if you fold that seat up, even more storage. And then there's a divider you could pop up over there as well to help you with groceries and stuff like that. But when folded down, you do have a lot of like workspace to like load up like totes or other stuff you're trying to haul in this truck, giving you more space if needed. But if we fold these seats back down, other side also is locked. There we go. Hopping inside, I never once had complaints with the F-150 lineup, this generation and the previous generation. Always offer a lot of optimal space for even tall or large folks, as I got plenty of leg space. I didn't move both the passenger and driver side position. This is where they were both set as when I had my passenger on the passenger side and I was on the driver's side. Plenty of storage space. Nothing has to be readjusted to fully fit in here. And then this part right here is a center armrest that gives you 2 more cup holders as well. So you have a lot of cup holders. So about 4 cup holders total on these 2 doors. 2 more here. 7, 8 cup holder access right here for your passengers, and as well as some storage compartments. Proper AC vents as well as heated seats. 12-volt outlet in case you need it. But down here you do have access to a household outlet that can bring out about 40 amps. And 2 USB-C ports for your mobile electronics. It's really nice right here. And this one does have the panoramic glass roof, which the driver's side can actually pop open with a full sunroof. LED lights, lamp lights, little hooks, and your old snap handles. Really comfortable, especially for kids and stuff you want to throw in the back here if this is going to be your all-time family car. It's very comfortable and luxurious back here. Why get an SUV when you could just get an F-150 like this? As there are child door locks switches in here, and of course you have anchor points for your baby seat if you need it. But now hopping into the driver's side, these seats do feature massage seats and lumbar support, lots of lumbar, and a cool little Easter egg right here, as that is the American flag you can see on the side right here. But hopping in the truck, you have more cool little Easter eggs. It says King Ranch right here, followed by the emblem, and on the top trim piece right here also shows you the King Ranch itself, located in Texas. A ton of storage right here. There's more storage with this hidden compartment, with the unique stitching right here. It doesn't feel like a real stitching, but it looks like stitching, which is quite nice. It's soft leather material on top. Everything is nice to touch, doesn't feel cheap. Even this has like a nice texture that feels extremely durable, but normal size glove box, nothing out of the ordinary. More cup holder space for the passenger side door, as well as a cubby right there, and a nice little cubby right there that could probably hold like a medium sized fries from McDonald's. The top portion of the seat is adjustable. This is adjustable, and of course the bottom part of the seat is adjustable as well. Headrest itself does do this. Seat belt is also adjustable. Passenger side sun visor does feature a mirror with LED. Same goes for driver. Your memory for your garage control is located here if you like to program it. Sunglasses container right here, and the back glass can be remotely controlled with this little switch, and it just opens up your back glass right here, which is indeed heated as well. And then this 12-inch display is standard now for the Ford lineup, because including the Bronco also has this ability. So this 12-inch LCD display is now standard. It does feature CarPlay as well as Android Auto, both wireless, or you could run with a USB, because there is a USB port right here, which I'm currently using to plug in my phone and charge it. And you also get a wireless charging mat right here for your wireless chargers need. USB-A is still there, and this does feature the foldable shift knob, because this can actually act as like a little workplace table, have your laptop or notebooks, or just eat a meal and treat this like a kitchen table in a sense. Chrome bit right here, which is kind of unusual. I guess that's just for the King Ranch, because that's the only part in this truck that's actually chrome, which is quite interesting. Everything else has like this bronze finish, but when it's folded up, you really don't notice it. And then this little slot could also hold your smartphone, as well as this slot could hold like 2 phones if you really need to. And the side shifter does have your manual shift control, which you can activate to tapping manual. And this does have 2 high, 4 low, as well as 4 automatic. If you don't know what mode to be on, depending on your terrain, you can just select that and you're good. And then you do have the ability to lock your rear differential from here, and this does have trailer Pro Assist, which allows you to back up your trailer by just using this knob instead of knowing how to properly back up with the steering wheel. In case you're still novice to this, you can just let the truck do it and you just use this knob while you control it with the accelerator pedal. Over here, automatic driver and passenger windows. Your rear windows are not automatic, unfortunately. You have to manually hold on to them, and they do go all the way down, which is quite awesome. Some SUVs, to my knowledge, still don't do that. Probably safety reasons though, but for this truck there's no limitation. And then the sunroof does open up, but only for the driver's side, as I previously stated, and it does go pretty much far back, and it does feature a wind diffuser, so it doesn't create that weird helicopter noise when you're driving on the highway. Now in terms of ventilation seats, ventilated seats is available for both driver and passenger side, including heated seats, and heated steering wheel control is located here as well. And then on top here you find your hazards, traction control, parking assist. This truck does have that ability. 360 cameras, and this is how the view looks like. Really nice and big for this truck. And you can also switch between the different camera views as well, including your tow hitch view in case you're attaching or trying to see your angle so you don't scrape or anything like that. It also does support a third-party camera, which you could actually wired. That is this plus camera icon. And then this button right here will activate all your outlets. You can switch between low mode or generator mode. When generator mode, your engine will continue to run supported power to the outlets, only use outside the vehicle, because the engine can actually run and power everything, even while the vehicle is turned off. It's just gonna let the engine run like a gas generator. And to my understanding, this engine is actually more efficient than most retail store bought gas generators too. So this truck can definitely serve multiple purposes, especially during like a blackout, an emergency situation, as you don't have to recharge your vehicle like an electric car. You just fuel up like a normal gas car and then just run the gas engine like a generator. If you're familiar with the previous generation F-150 lineups, the little center console, same exact storage from the previous generation F-150s. Very big. I could fit like a gallon of water in here, no problem. But then new this year is the heads-up display. Hopefully this camera could pick this up, but there is a heads-up display that displays the time, your speed, as well as the clock, as well as some lane key directions too. If you have Apple CarPlay or navigation running in the background, it'll display it there, as well as your instrument cluster display right here. You got memory seats right here. Save up to 3, only on the driver's side, not passenger side, unfortunately. And then of course you have the ability to quickly turn on your like rear side mirrors, or not rear, side mirror lamps on individually right here, as well as close your tailgate, your brightness control, your fog lamp control here. And then this button right here allows you to adjust the height of the gas and brake pedal, which is quite awesome. Not a lot of cars do that nowadays. Now in terms of basic steering wheel controls, you have your music, your Blue Cruise. This truck does have that. That's what these little sensors on the side are there for, to track your eyes, make sure you're not like getting distracted. I'll cover that in a bit. You can adjust the distance of the car right here, enable or disable your lane keep assist. And over here would be your media control. And on menu, it's very standard to the previous generation F-150s, where you can switch between these different styles. And as you can see right there, we have been averaging pretty good MPG average, 20 miles per gallon. That's not bad actually. I just need to fuel up the truck though. I just got back from a long road trip with this truck. You can change your heads-up display, gauges. Doesn't really add that much you could do here. As in setting, you can configure some gauges, like swap the position, but only those two, which is kind of unusual. And you can select between the different type of gauges you want to see. Instead of oil, you want to see your turbo or transmission temperature. You can do that. And then on the second gauge, you could swap it with something else as well. But there's no like themes or anything like that you could do on this instrument cluster, unfortunately. And in the front, you have a little 120 volt inverter switch right here, as well as your household outlet. In terms of vehicle features, if you're using CarPlay, you could maximize the screen like this if you really need to, which is quite awesome. Ford have been doing this for quite a while on some of their other vehicles. Here you have audio control. You can switch between different windows. When you press this button, you can scroll between more additional ones if you want to add more, like fuel economy, your EV behavior, and other little windows or widgets you can have right here on the side. As you can monitor your lighting zone, your onboard pro power, your off-road status, which I don't know why it's not loading up. It's pretty laggy, unfortunately. Navigation, or your now playing tab, and you have quick media control right here. So you have navigation over here and then your media control over there if you really need to. But in terms of vehicle settings, here's where you can find your driving assist, which you could disable or enable auto hold, your cruise control setting, your blind spot monitoring, your trailer side assist, as well as your cross traffic alerts when you're backing up. But what I want to show you is the onboard scale. This is where you can see your payload capacity. So the bed can actually support up to 1,300 pounds, which is quite awesome. And the weight will show you the scale right here if you're reaching peak or not in real time as you're loading things up. But a unique thing with these new tail lights, if you select tail lamps, you can see the loading stats right there as you're loading your payload with your rear tail lights. They will actually illuminate you, letting you know that if you're reaching max peak yet. But if we get out of here, you also have your smart hitch, which lets you like create profiles for your different hitch that you have. If it's a gooseneck setup and such, it even has a quick setup guide, or your connection checklist. If you're connecting them for the first time, it'll run you through everything that you need to know. And on the Pro Power onboard, more information about like the ampage that's producing and such, and what part of the truck is drawing the most energy. You could decide to turn it off entirely or run it all. It even has a little test as well. And then in lighting zone is what I was showing you earlier. You can select the different zones. You can first turn it on. You can select where you want it to illuminate using the external lights of this pickup truck. So you individually select them like this, or select all. And if there's a request you like to add for Ford, you also have record. You have the ability to do like a voice memo to give them feedback. And then down here you have the ability to quickly turn off the display into like the simple clock if it's too much for you, or have it off entirely if you press again. You got media control where you can switch between the different like media sources, because you can't swap between Sirius or your CarPlay unit from here. A quick ability to go into like your music settings, which is audio system is equipped with BMOs. Sounds really good. And then of course, if this unit's ever acting funny, just hold down the volume button as well as to skip the next track. And if you continue holding it, this will reboot the whole unit. Ideal to do if you have CarPlay and it's acting funny, or Android Auto. Just do this instead of having to turn off the entire vehicle to reconnect it if it's not cooperating. Oh, and then I almost forgot, this is your trailer backup assist, or your trailer brakes, I mean, right here. You could adjust the aggressiveness or decrease it from here if you ever absolutely have to. And if your key fob's ever dead, there's a little slot right here. You can insert your key fob to still be able to push the start. You'll use NFT to connect to your key fob and verify that your key is right there. So if it's dead, just pull that out, insert the key fob, and push the start. All right, driving the all-new mid-redesigned F-150. So first things first, it drives like a truck, but I do want to say it drives slightly better than the previous generation. I have noticed a minor improvement with the adaptive suspension. I think it definitely is comfortable than previous trucks that I've driven in the past. But when it comes to like wind noise, it's the standard F-150, like the previous generation F-150. I don't really know an improvement in terms of like wind noise reduction when you're cruising on the highway. Visibility and everything else is very familiar with the previous generations F-150s, so it's not bad at all. So in other words, if you're transitioning an older F-150 and you're getting into this one, like a 2017 as an example of that body style, into this, you're gonna feel right at home basically. As your like columns for like your windshield controls, your high beams and everything else remain the same, including the position, well, the position of your push to start as well. Now I did forget to mention how to activate the massage seats. It's as easy as literally just pressing the lumbar button. The center display will then change to this. You could adjust the passenger side as well. Both do feature massage seats, but here you could adjust the lumbar for the different placements. Hopefully the camera can pick this up. But again, you just tap the lumbar button on your seat and you'll have this screen control right here. And then you could tap massage, and here are like a few little options you can select from. And I don't know exactly what it is, but it doesn't feel like air bladders. But I wouldn't be surprised if they are air bladders, but these feel better than previous massage seats I've tested in the past. A lot better than GM's, I gotta say. But no, this is definitely air bladders, but these are pretty comfortable. But now let's go ahead and merge on the freeway and see how this truck does. So yeah, this thing definitely does get up and go. 60 was quick actually, surprisingly, but we didn't go to a dead stop. But it easily does have pushing power if you need to. And by pushing power, I mean like acceleration power, of course. Very torquey too. And then handling, again, it's a truck. It's not anything, it's not gonna be a sport car, nor is this like a sporty truck. Although there has been a lot of sleeper F-150s with Coyotes engines, I've been seeing that. But this handles like a standard F-150, nothing crazy out of the ordinary. And MPG wise, again, I'm easily able to always hit 20 to 21 miles per gallon for a pickup truck. That's really good. I'm used to pickup trucks averaging around 9 or 12 if you're lucky. And there's time where the engine will actually switch to electric drive as well. And there you guys have it. That is all the ins and out when it comes to the latest generation F-150. All the cool things I love about it, and some things are definitely worth highlighting. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this in-depth video. If you did, you know what to do. Leave this video a like, get subscribed for more. But now if you'd like to see how was it like driving a Ranger Raptor, if this is a little bit too big for you, you can check out that video right over there. Thank you so much for watching.